The first thing you need to know is this. I never meant to become the crazy wasp guy in my neighborhood, but sometimes life just decides for you. I mean, picture it. One minute you're minding your own business, the next you're slamming a barn door shut, while a cloud of wasps turns a bunch of smug HOA board members into a screaming, stumbling mess. And if you're thinking, no way did he really do that well, believe what you want, but I can still hear the sound. Deafening like a chainsaw chewing through the night, but sweeter. So yeah, I locked them in. I did it for justice, not revenge. You ever had someone try to take everything your family built just because they think rules and signatures matter more than blood and sweat? They didn't just break into my barn, they laughed while doing it, sipping their wine, patting each other on the back like my life was a backdrop for their little community pageant. They thought my barn was theirs, just waiting to be claimed. That night, the wasps set them straight. Maybe it sounds harsh, but in that moment, standing in the cool night air, arms folded, hearing the chorus of wings and human panic, I felt finally like something in the world made sense. You ever get pushed and pushed until you don't recognize yourself anymore? That's where it started for me. I wasn't born for drama. I grew up just outside Cedar Ridge on a slice of land no one ever envied, 18 acres, handed down from my grandfather to my father, then to me. I built fences, grew vegetables, raised chickens. The barn was my sanctuary. And the wasps, believe it or not, were just part of the system nature's little soldiers. People hate them, sure. But you leave them alone, they leave you alone. If anything, I respected them. Fierce, territorial, relentless if threatened. Sound familiar? I didn't know back then just how much I'd have in common with those wasps. The trouble started the day Mara Benton came strutting up my driveway. She had that smile polished a little too perfect, and a voice that dripped with authority, the kind you get when you've spent your life bossing people around. Mara wasn't just any neighbor. She'd just been elected president of the Cedar Ridge Homeowners Association, and you could tell she was itching to use that power. First thing she said to me, didn't even shake my hand, was how my barn was wasted on me. Just think what it could do for the community. She said like she was offering me the deal of a lifetime. It's not just a barn, I told her. It's mine. That was the first shot fired. I should have known it wouldn't be the last. Within a week, she came back with reinforcements. Clipboard-wielding, tape-measuring lackeys marching around like they owned the place. You ever see people look through you? That was Mara. I watched it all from the new security cameras I just installed. Paranoia, or maybe just good instincts, when I barked through the speaker. Can I help you? She didn't even flinch. We're assessing the property, she announced, for potential community benefit. My barn, suddenly on their agenda. I told them to leave. Mara just smirked and said, "You'll regret this." I didn't sleep well that night. The letters started arriving soon after, one after another, all official looking, all just different ways of saying, "Give us what we want or else." They accused me of disrupting the aesthetic of underutilizing the barn, threatened to escalate to zoning authorities. I wasn't even in the damn HOA. But they circled and circled and circled. The law wasn't going to protect me, and they knew it. Then one weekend, I left town, needed a break. My sister's kids, loud enough to drown out my worries. I left my neighbor, Linda Park, in charge. She's got a stare that could burn a hole through steel, and she hated Mara almost as much as I did. But when I got back, Linda was waiting at the gate, face red with fury. "They threw a party in your barn," she spat. I laughed at first, but then I saw it streamers in the trees, plastic cups scattered everywhere, my tools shoved aside, and worst of all, the wasp enclosures tampered with. They'd poked at the nests thinking it was a joke. That was it. That was the line. I gathered up everything, photos, videos from the cameras, screenshots of Mara grinning in my barn, raising a glass like she'd just conquered Rome. I took it all to the sheriff. He shook his head. "They'll call it a misunderstanding," he said. Misunderstanding. Right. That night, staring at the barn, I realized the law moves too slow when you're up against people like Mara. So I set a trap, made it look like I'd given up, let the gate lock hang loose, left the barn looking unwatched. Sure enough, they came back. And this time, the Wasps got to do the talking. You ever see justice unfold in real time? There's nothing quite like it. I'll tell you, the fallout wasn't pretty. Next morning, thick envelope in the mailbox, HOA logo, glaring up at me like a threat. Reckless and malicious conduct, it said. Endangering community members. I laughed out loud. The gall, they trespassed twice, tampered with my property, and now I was the bad guy. I called Linda over, shoved the letter across the table. She just snorted. They're panicking, she said. You've got proof. Show the world. So that's what I did. Uploaded the videos and photos to the local Facebook group. No ranting, no threats. Just when the HOA says they're protecting community values but break into private property. This is what it looks like. Cedar Ridge deserved the truth. And the truth spread fast. Some people were furious at Mara. Some, of course, stood by her. But the tide turned. Next thing I knew, Mara was parked outside my gate, eyes blazing. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" she yelled. I stood there, arms crossed. Telling the truth? You broke in twice. She sneered, tried to downplay it, but I played the video. Her clear as day, holding my jar of honey name tag, gleaming. That rattled her. For the first time, I saw real fear. But Mara, she wasn't the quitting kind. Within days, more letters arrived, anonymous complaints to the county rumors, spreading that my wasps were a threat to children, strangers loitering near my property with their phones out. I got a note under my door. The HOA always wins. It was textbook intimidation. But intimidation only works if you let it. Deputy Harris at the sheriff's office was one of the good ones, level-headed, not easily swayed by HOA drama. I handed him more footage, more bogus complaints. "She's doubling down," he said. "You sure you're ready for this?" "More than ready," I told him. "I'm not just fighting for myself now. If Mara wanted a paper war, I'd answer with proof cold, hard, undeniable." But they kept coming. Late night visits, spreading rumors, twisting every little thing to make me look like the unstable one. Cedar Ridge is a place where reputation matters, you know? Lose that and you lose everything. But I didn't cave. Instead, I took my evidence photos, videos, taped them up at the diner, the post office, the feed store. Old Rancher Cole even clapped me on the back. "Don't let those suits push you around, son." For once, I felt the town at my back. Then came the official notice: submit a community integration plan or face county action. I didn't even bother to finish reading it before I ripped it in half. Instead, I called my cousin Nathan. He's a lawyer in the next county. Explained everything. "They're overstepping hard," he said. "We can file for a restraining order, keep them off your land while we sue for damages." Finally, a weapon of my own. With the restraining order filed, I fortified the barn, moved the wasp enclosures closer to the fence. Not to threaten, just to remind them this isn't a bluff. A few nights later, cameras caught Mara and two men sneaking up my drive. They tried to document violations, but all they got was a face full of buzzing. This time, I didn't confront them. I just gave the footage to Harris. He nodded, jaw tight. They're digging their own graves. By the weekend, the order was official. Mara was served publicly. Word spread. Some board members turned on her, questioned her leadership. But she wasn't finished. Claimed I was the danger, called an emergency HOA meeting to try and spin the story. So I showed up outside with my projector, played the footage on the clubhouse wall. Gasps, shouts, residents storming out. The Queen's armor cracked. From then on, the gloves were off. Mara went after me with county inspectors, more fake complaints. I documented everything: maintenance logs, state law, pest exemptions, narrated a video tour for the inspectors. When they left, they told me everything is compliant. That word compliant never sounded so sweet. Linda showed up, practically skipping. They voted. Mara's out. Gone. Next day, I saw the moving truck. Mara wild-eyed barking into her phone. When she noticed me, I raised my coffee cup. Need help packing? She didn't answer. By sunset, she was gone. The new HOA sent a formal apology and a reimbursement check. The barn. My barn stood proud against the dusk, my wasps humming like guardians. Mara's reign was over, but the scars lingered. Legal battles kept going. Nathan filed suit for damages and harassment. The HOA tried to settle quick, but we pressed for more. Full compensation, public apology, and a binding agreement that my land would never fall under their control. Word spread. Reporters called the story, ran in the paper. Folks from all over reached out, some with horror stories of their own HO, as some just cheering me on. I realized it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about boundaries, about fighting for what's yours when the world wants to take it piece by piece. As for Mara, last I heard, she moved far away trying to start over. But in Cedar Ridge, her name was Mud. The HOA cut back rules, dues dropped. People actually started talking to each other again like neighbors. Still, there are folks who whisper that I went too far, that locking people in with wasps was cruel. Others call me a hero. Truth is, I never wanted either title. I just wanted respect for my boundaries. The lesson. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and a bully is your willingness to fight back smart hard and without backing down. You don't have to use wasps, but you do have to stand your ground. I did, and I'd do it again. Let me ask you, where do you draw the line when someone crosses yours? When is it too much? Drop a comment. Tell me what you think, share your own stories. Because out here in the real world, sometimes justice has wings. And it always leaves a mark.